Hello everyone, welcome back to the SAP manufacturing channel. Today's video is related to the inspection type CO4, which was inspection from production. Okay, so in other videos you can see the CO3, which is in process, and this time you can see the CO4 inspection type. That's going to be happening at the time of a good receipt of the materials from production. Okay, so let's jump into the business process. Let's take a look at the business process. Basically, in the inspection type CO4, it's good to ship from production, right? So we first need to create a process order. Then we will do the good receipt from the order, okay, at the MIGA transaction. And when we do that, the inspection lot will be created and we can start the recording, results recording, right, in the user decision. This time, the user decision of the inspection type 04 is stock relevant. Therefore, we will be doing a movement, which is the last step, which is actually an movement, but it's triggered by QM. Okay, it's in the background. So the 321, which is moving from quality inspection to unrestricted stock. Okay, let's see it in action. Okay, so we already have a process order created. Of course, we're supposed to be doing the um, notification as well, right? Or confirmation of the order, right? And then we need to do the MAGO transaction. So we will jump into the MAGO in a moment. First of all, I would like to share with you very quickly the master data needed for these inspection types, CO4, okay? Good receipt from production. So this is the material. Let me select only the quality management view. We go to the inspection setup. And of course, we have CO3 as we have seen before, because there is another video for the in process, right, inspection type. And now we are looking at the CO4 inspection type. So you click on the inspection details, inspection type details, and then you see this box, checkbox here ticked, right? So if it's marked, well, we see below the corresponding parameters for this inspection type. And also you can see the inspection type that is selected currently here, right? So basically we will pass to stock, okay? Remember that we do not normally change any parameter here. Even though we can do this at the material level, right? It's advisable to have a specific inspection type with the right parameters, okay? So otherwise it's really hard to keep track of the changes we have done, okay? It's easy to see when we assign CO4 and a Z4, for example, for another purpose, or Z04 inspection type, right, for another purposes. But in this case, we're using a standard, okay? Unless you're sure that, of course, you will use always the same thing for all the cases with Z04, for example, then, for example, the inspection for 100 unit, right? If that is the case, then you can assign this in configuration, okay? But otherwise, it's advisable to use separate inspection types for that. Okay, so one thing, yeah, this is it. Okay, one thing to mention, I would say, is that we're not supposed to be changing anything anyway. Okay, to no saving. For this inspection type CO4, we need inspection plans. Okay, I will show you the inspection plan for this. You can see a specific video how to create inspection plan, right? This is just to show you the setup of the inspection plan. So basically, an inspection plan can have multiple operations, as we discussed before. In this case, I'm just assigning one operation for the main lab, but you might want to have other, like production lab, for example, a microbiological lab, external lab, right, and assign specific characteristic for those laboratories, right? In this case, I'm just going to have only one line, operation 10, right? And let me show you the characteristics assigned to it. See, there are many characteristics. Most of them are quantitative, and this one is qualitative. It means that we have a catalog where we need to choose, right, um, the from the catalog and a selected set, right? We can choose. In this case, it will be the appearance, right? Appearance. Okay, excellent. So we will see that in action anyway. Just want to show you something else. Yes, the header. The usage is production in this case. The overall is four, status is four, released in general, the planner group. We assign a planning work center here. For the inspection points, we assign 200, which is basically for samples, okay, sample management. And we have a sample drawing procedure. You can take a look at a specific video for that if you want to see about the sample drawing procedure, how to create them, okay? One thing I need to show you is that when we are inside the operations, let's go to operations here, right? We can double click on the operation level and we will have all the way down a couple of parameters that we need to set up. This is the default one, which is just a recording view for the results recording, Q51N. We will see single values and summarized results. And for the quality management, we have the inspection point. So we are suggesting here to automatically evaluate the inspection point based on point definition. Basically, we want to have a proposal. If we have accepted all the characteristic, we should have a proposal to accept the inspection point, which is in this case a sample, right? Sample number. This is the link between sample management and not this one, and I mean the inspection point and the sample are linked. Okay, excellent. So this was the last point. You can see about this in the other video as well, but I will show you just to point out the importance of that, of course. Okay. So I think we cover everything from the material master. From the process order perspective, I already created a process order, so I do have a number. So we will do the MIGO directly so we can see that the inspection lot gets created, okay? Just for the sake of time, I already created the process order. We need to assume we've already confirmed the process order for do the consumption of the backflash materials, right? But basically, let's go to MIGO transaction. Let me write it in uppercase. Keep in mind that it's not case sensitive, right? So you can type in lower cases as well. But just for the sake of checking the transaction I'm typing in, right? I normally type in uppercase. Okay, so let's go to MIGO for good movements, of course. Good to see from order, right? So this is the order. I already copied the order. There you are. Let me press enter just to select, and we can see we have this line with the 100 kgs, right? 100 kgs for quantity, where at the plant D01, storage location 0001, because this is a semi-finished product, right? We have the order number, and let's take a look at the batch, okay? Date of manufacture, we should put this date of manufacture definitely, okay? And most likely I will need to classify this batch. Let me check. I think I will need to classify it. Yes, it's incomplete. I need to put remaining. No, that's not. Wait, spending. Waiting period is already there. I think it's going to be below. This class has quite a lot of characteristic. Normally, we should use less, right? I mean, depending on the requirements, of course, but this is just for example. So I have assigned quite a lot of characteristics. So that's why it's get complicated to find exactly which one it's mandatory here that we need to populate, let's say. Mhm. Where to score? Remaining shell life for batch. Sorry, yeah, that was the one. Oop, I lost it. It was nearly here, right? Remaining shell life, this one. Okay, let me put 45 days. Okay, so we can just go ahead and everything will be fine. So before jumping into this one, let me go and let's check QA32, because this is one of the purpose of the to show you the integration part between PP and QM, right? So lot origin CO4. Let me put the material just in case we have more cases. There's nothing yet, right? No inspection lot created yet. So let me post it. Preparing quality inspection. As you can see, every time you see preparing quality inspection means that it's created an inspection lot in the background. Okay, so this is the material document. If I refresh, there you are. We have a lot, inspection lot. It's released. The sample is calculated. Okay, so everything is fine. Okay, let's go to the next step, which is basically the results recording and the user decision. Keep in mind that this inspection type is stock relevant. So we will see that in a minute. Okay, let's go to the QE51N. Let's do this quickly because you have seen already this process in other videos as well, right? So let me just, maybe I can search for this material to avoid having too many. Yes, we have, of course, in process, right? For the same, as you can see, the same batch, right? Batch 143, 143. This is the process order number, the same process order number. And of course, the batch, the inspection lot is different because it's 3 for the in process. We have seen already the in process video for that specifically, and this is the one we are dealing in this video. Okay, so we have these 4. Starting with 4, it means it's the CO4 inspection type for the good to see from production. Okay, so you can open from here and go to the sample. When I click the sample, I will open this one. Okay, excellent. So we have plenty of characteristics. Let me start putting some results. Dust level 0.4. The moisture content, it's 1.4. I'm just making this up, right? 15.1. I will put everything within specification, okay? 14.3. And this is a qualitative, right? So for the qualitative, we need to choose. We cannot type the results, right? Because the idea is to be harmonized. Otherwise, for example, if I want to choose this one, right? Basically, will let's suppose I put not instead of no, right? Maybe I have a typo here, and then it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a different result. That's the purpose of using a catalog as attributes, attributive characteristic, right? So you just choose the name, right? And actually, the system is checking the codes, not necessarily the description. But of course, it's showing up the description, so we know what to choose, right? So in this case, I will accept this. Okay, no degradation, stability, right? Of course, this will be stability study is a specific functionality we will see in a specific video, okay? But we can have just a very quick catalog or attributive characteristic as a finished or final results for this stability study, okay? This normally takes time. So, for example, if it's a real one, this should be a long-term characteristic, for example. So that's why the stability study normally is done separately from batches, right? Because you cannot wait until that is finished to get the user decision, right? So in this case, even though some long-term characteristic allows you to do the user decision regardless of the long-term, right? It's not a good practice to put the stability study here. But just this is just for the sake of testing and showing you some functionalities like here. Okay, so you can consider that this could be another qualitative characteristic. Okay, okay, I think we covered that. Press enter. When we press enter, everything was evaluated. Oh, I put I have a typo here. Okay, let me just leave it as it is, right? I forgot, and I put 14.3. Sorry. So let me leave it as it is, and let's assume because we will deal with in another video with the, let's say, defects, right? And also quality notifications and that kind of stuff. So in those cases, we will force to reject some characteristics and the batch, etc. Okay. Here, just for the sake of time, okay, I will um, leave this as it is, okay, or I can change it from here, right? And then I can basically uh, was already evaluated. Yes, it was already evaluated. Okay, or I can just leave this transaction right without saving and do it over again. Okay, I'm not gonna do that just for the sake of time. So I'm gonna I'm gonna leave this as it is. Okay, but I will accept the user decision. In the real life scenario, you might want to take another sample, right? You go here, you create a new sample, and maybe everything will be fine. Okay, let me do that very quickly, just for the sake of finishing the idea, right? Because we should not use an accepted user decision if there is any issue here, right? We will see those details in different videos, okay? But I don't want to just leave this as it is, okay? So let me select all. You can select from here. You can unselect everything, right? You can select and you can close, or we can put an automatic closing, okay? So there is one characteristic that is asking me for just a short text, okay? And this one, inspection, okay. This is not mandatory, but we can define for one characteristic, right, that we want to put a short text, for example. Okay. It's very common to use it when you're not using the defects. Okay, so you need to put something. Sorry, in this case, it was not okay. Actually, right? But anyway, let me see if I can. No, no, no. Okay, it's already saved. This one is already saved. Okay, let me save it. It's with a red dot here, right? But we can go and create a new sample, right? So this is the sample 127. Okay, we're gonna just remove this one. Okay, and we will create a new one. What we are doing is just extending the same drawing number. Okay, so we don't need to change this drawing number. It's the same drawing number, or we can create a new one, of course, right? It's dependent on the leveling and that kind of stuff, right? If you want, you can create a new drawing number and you will need to pick up all the samples. But in this case, maybe we just want to re-inspect the same sample, okay? So maybe we don't need a new one, okay? It's depending on the definition, right? In general, Since this is sample, right, you should pick up a new sample, right? But anyway, it's up to you the way you want to handle this. Okay. Okay. So let me just save this one. So we want just a new sample. Okay. We can go and click here. So we go to the all the characteristic and not just this one in particular. Okay. Let me be more careful than I was before. 0.4 moisture. Okay. 1.4, and this is 14.5. It's the minimum. 14.6. Now it's going to be fine. And the stability, I will choose the no degradation, which is an accepted one. Okay. So now I can press enter. Okay. And I can select all of them and close them. Successfully closed, and I can save it. Okay. So we saw one thing that we will look at this again probably in the sample management video specifically, but you saw what we can do, right? We can create a new sample using the same sample drawing procedure, or we can create a new sample drawing procedure and a new sample with it. Okay. As you can see now, we have two samples here. One is red, the other is green. Okay. Since we can, based on this, we can approve this inspection lot. Okay. I mean, we will approve basically with the user decision, right? So let me just double click. There is one characteristic showing up, right? But we are sure that it was fine, right? Because we retested, let's say. So we assume the issue was, for example, typo. The issue was the inspection itself. It might be that the inspection, we got this value, but we retested and it's fine now. Okay, so that's what I was showing you the characteristic, the new sample and the accepted characteristic after that. Okay, there are many ways to work on this situation, right? So let me just accept in this case, right? Let me just press enter. So we have the manufacturing date, we have everything, and now, right? These are the samples. See, the first one was rejected, but the second one was accepted. Okay, or approved. See? Okay, so this is the tab that, since this material is relevant, right? Not the material itself, also the inspection type is stock relevant, then we are moving stock, right, from quality inspection to unrestricted. Okay, so typically we can click here proposal. Okay, it's not set up for that, but we can type in anyway. Okay, I will show you the details on the user decision selected set. We can set up a few, let's say, actions in the background that can do this more automatic, let's say. Okay, anyway, I'm sending this to unrestricted stock. So let me open the MMBE first so you can see what we have. 14 for this material. So remember the batch is 143, 143. So this is the batch, 100 kgs, quality inspection, right? So we go here, this is fine. Let me just present it to validate this. So now it's turning into 0 because it will be moving everything, I mean 100 in this case, to unrestricted, okay? So let me save it, and we should be posting to stock, yes. Okay, so user decision is posted, so we should, yeah, it's gone, as you can see, because it was completed. This is another one, of course, this is the CO3. Let me just leave, and we can take a look at the stock here. Where is it? It should be now, I'm going to refresh, should be in the column of unrestricted use here, right? In particular, it will be in this column, in this cell. There you are. Okay. So we should see also the movement MB51 transaction for this material. There should be a movement. Let me put the batch because I will have probably many movements. So let me just check for this batch. Otherwise, it can be confusing to see so many movements. There you are. So we have the 101, the good to see from production, right? Then you have the 321. Okay. So 321 movement is from quality inspection to unrestricted. Okay. The reason you see two lines, right? It's actually the same material document, right? With minus 100 plus 100. Okay. Because the quantity, it's just moving the quantity, not producing anything, not increasing, not decreasing, right? So that's why it has to be neutralized. Let's say minus 100 plus 100 is zero. So you still have 100 as a good receipt. Okay, so the total here is 100 only. Okay, so QM is just moving, but not increasing or decreasing stock. That is important to consider. Okay. Okay, excellent. So we covered the inspection type CO4, which is good to ship from production. In this scenario, we check this as a regular, let's say, inspection lot created right after or during, I would say, it's much better to say, during the good to sit, right? And you can see another video because there is another way of using this. Normally, when you do not use the in process, okay, or you have some kind of a difficult inspection in terms of long time, right, that it takes to inspect something, maybe you want the inspection log to be created before the good receipt, okay, during the release of the process order, like the CO3, right, the inspection um, um, process, the in process inspection type CO3 gets created right after you release the order. Okay, so we will use a similar approach to create the CO4, even though we still do not have stock. Okay, that is important. That's another video. Okay, thank you for watching, and please share it, like it, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.